Hello, I am Dr SES and welcome to PLAB2 guide. Let's talk how to pass PLAB2. I'm going to talk about something you have never heard before. This is the easiest way to pass PLAB2. This is a sort of shortcut where many people never talk about this. First of all, let's talk about what is the pass mark for PLAB2. You must be knowing that you have to fulfill two criteria to pass PLAB2. Number one is you have to obtain a particular pass mark. This pass mark can vary depending on the other's performance during that week that you are going to sit for your PLAB2 exam. And in addition, you have to pass the required number of stations. After COVID-19 pandemic, currently there are 16 stations and you have to pass 10 stations out of 16. But sometimes they do consider some stations not suitable, so there will be 15 stations, but you have to sit for 16 stations, but they will only consider 15 stations. In that case, you have to pass 9 stations out of 15. So let's see, why do people fail PLAB 2? Most of the time, it is due to not passing the number of required stations. Fortunately, most students do score the pass mark which is required easily. So, how to pass PLAB2? It is very simple if you keep target of passing at least 9 or 10 stations. If you pass this number of stations, you will easily score the required pass mark. Is there a shortcut? Yes, there is. We are going to talk about that today. Let's analyze this PLAB2 exam, then you will get the answer. What are the questions you must get in the PLAB2 exam? You must get a pediatric case in your PLAB2 exam. That's a very usual thing. So, if you think about all the past cases that you have got, there are only around 10 pediatric cases. So, if you focus on these 10 cases properly, then you will definitely pass that case. So, you have passed a one station already. Then, you will get a psychiatry case. If you go through the past cases as before, then you will see around 10 cases of psychiatry patients you can see in the PLAB2. So if you study these 10 cases properly, then you will pass the psychiatry case. So you have passed 2 cases now. What about surgery? There are around 15 or maybe 20 cases in your PLAB2 exam. So surgery cases are very easy. So if you go through them properly, you will definitely pass your surgery case. So you have passed 3 cases now. What about Gyn and Obs? That's also very easy and you have only around 10 cases in your PLAB2 exam. So why can't you go through these 10 cases and be thorough with them, and then you will pass another station. So now you have passed 4 stations. What about Simman? Simman is very easy station and you have only around 10 cases in PLAB2. If you go through these 10 cases, it is very easy because you don't get into any traps while you are taking the history, because the history is very straightforward. If you know the case, you can easily pass it. Now you have passed 5 stations. What about the examination? A lot of people do complain examination is a bit tough, but you are excluded from that. Why is that? Because usually there are around 30 to 40 examination cases in PLAB2 exam. But due to COVID-19 pandemic, you won't get a case where you have to touch a patient. So basically you will be doing this examination in mannequins or dummies, right? So when you think about it in that manner, right, you will have only around 6 to 8 examination cases you can get in the PLAB2 exam. So that's fairly easy, right? So you are very lucky to do the exam during this period. So if you go through these few cases, you will definitely pass your examination case, right? So now you have passed 6 cases. What about mannequin? Of course, there are around 20-25 mannequin cases. This is a lot, but it is very simple as long as you practice them a little bit. Why? Because it is fairly straightforward. It's not like taking a history. You don't need to think about it. You just mechanically go there and do what you have trained. That's very easy. If you do the mannequin station properly, you have already passed 7 stations, right? That is quite a lot. So congratulations. Now you have to only pass maybe 2 or 3 stations to pass your exam, right? All the other cases you study for PLAB2 is included in these 2 to 3 cases, right? Now you can decide on which category you have to spend more time. For example, you may have 150 or 200 medicine cases, right? Out of that, you will get only 2 to 3 cases for your exam, right? But you have only 10 psychiatry cases, right? And you will definitely get one. So you can spend more time on psychiatry, right? You can be thorough with that. It is the same for other cases as well. So think about it more carefully. And you will definitely pass your exam if you study in this manner. So, a lot of people do ask, what is the best course for PLAB2? As you know, there is no perfect thing in the world. PLAB2 courses are also like that. One's course may be good for one person and it may not be good for another person. So, it is a personal choice. But from the feedback that we have got, we know something like this. The very famous common station is one of the best courses available and it is very good for history taking. But we are not going to comment about the other parts, but the history taking part is brilliant in that course. When you think about the Aspire, it is also one of the very famous PLAB2 courses. It's very good for examination and mannequin. And you know, if you go to YouTube, you can find a lot of videos done by them, by Dr. Ankur. And they are very, very nicely presented, and that's very important. And in addition, Dr. Aman Arora's Aurora Medical Education, they do have very good communication skill courses, and they focus a lot on this. And we do understand that communication is very important in your PLAB2, and it is another key where you can score more marks, right? And in addition, there are a lot of good PLAB2 courses which we have not mentioned here. So, Dr. SES will recommend you to get inputs from all these sources, and don't forget that practicing is the most important thing. If you want to pass your PLAB2, you must practice, practice, practice. It doesn't matter whether you have attended to millions of courses and you have read millions of cases, that doesn't count. Only thing you have to do is practice. You can search for many partners from Facebook, WhatsApp groups, and a lot of sources are there. You can find several partners and practice with them, right? When you're practicing, especially try to focus to people who are from other countries rather than from your country, because they will have a different accent, they will have different communication skills. So focus on that. So let's talk, who is Dr. SES? Dr. SES is a popular medical educator and he's currently practicing in the UK. He is the author of the famous PLAB2 study aid. You must be knowing PLAB1, flashcards, and Red App, which is very famous among the PLAB1 students. And it is one of the most famous memory boosters for PLAB1. Why don't you try Dr. SES PLAB2 MOCKS today? What is the reason for you to trying those things? Dr. SES PLAB2 MOCKS will boost your skills. Dr. SES will introduce much more quick pass methods during the mocks. As you can see, the things that Dr. SES has already talked about, right? Dr. SES mocks are very cheap compared to most mocks available in the internet. So you can easily do 5 cases just for £10 and 12 cases just for £20, right? And these cases are selected and discussed in a target way that you will most probably encounter one of them from each category in your exam, right? Furthermore, you will get a lot of free study materials as well. So, if you are interested, you can contact Dr. SES through WhatsApp, Imo, Viber or Telegram through +947612516662, or you can visit Dr. SES Facebook page www.facebook.com/smarties.org, and you can also visit the YouTube page where you can find some videos. So stay tuned to us and subscribe for more videos. Thank you.